Now Jin-woo was starting to beat the brakes off of Thomas, so he manifested this spiritual body to power up, and Jin-woo immediately recognized it as the power of the rulers that 4 of the nation level hunters have. And after just completely smashing the ground, forcing bro to jump in the air, he throws a damn black hole at him. For real, it just starts pulling in all his soldiers. So he clings onto this building, but then he just blows that up too. But again, he just jumped even higher to get to safety. So he's just looking down at him. Alright, that's cool, but I'm not missing this time. And he springs right for him, just destroying the ground. But once he gets right up on him, Jin-woo just uses his face as a platform to jump even higher. So he tries to use his telekinesis shit to pull him back, but Jin-woo overpowers it with his and just yanks him towards him. He's like, alright, bet, and balls up his fist. He's ready to clash. And I need the sound effects and animation to go crazy for this. A couple impact frames, hell yeah, this shit is tough. But he sends Thomas flying back into this building. He just explodes right back out of it. He runs down on him again. He tries to punch him, he just weaves that shit, but even just him missing did all this damage. Then bro grabs him by the horns and knees him in the face, like cracking up his whole situation, and his whole guild is just watching as he's getting tossed through the warehouse. And the bureau just looking like, damn, we gotta stop this shit. He's beating the shit out of our nation level hunter. But bro's like, what are we gonna do? As he just continues to wail on him, and Thomas just like, how? How could a mage type hunter produce such power and speed? Am I really about to lose right now? Nah, it ain't no way. He tries to counter with his right arm, but Jin-woo just knocks it away and keeps beating his ass. Like, bro, my overwhelming strength has carried me my whole life. I'm Thomas Andre. You think this enough to stop me? He just keeps punching him up, saying, I told you, didn't I? It doesn't matter who you are. Bro, somebody stop this man. They all on the side screaming for him to stop, but he's not hearing none of it. Look at this. Just breaking his armored shell into pieces. Like, it's just 6 straight panels of him just punching him out. And it finally gets so bad that he accepts it. It says, alright, man, you got it. I lost, man. Shit. Don't punch me no more. Now everybody's just looking like, bruh, he did this to a nation level hunter. And Thomas specifically, not nobody else in the world is doing him like this. So a healer tried to come and help him out, but one of them not enough. All of them gotta work together. Every single bone in his body is broken. Like, he beat the shit out of him. But anybody else would have died from that ass whooping, so props to Thomas. And they're like, damn, I guess this was as good as it could have gone. But they see that Hwang Dong-soo isn't breathing and his heart stopped, like, bro's actually dead. And Jin-woo just disappeared completely. Then it cuts back over to Korea, and he used the shadow exchange with Biru. So he's here, and Biru's back in America healing Jin-ho. But while he's sitting on the rooftop, one of the shadows says, my king. He gives him a side eye saying, what is it? And he's got a new soldier saying, please give me a name. Well, how about greed? Since you died being greedy. See what, don't you like it? So clearly this is Hwang Dong-soo. And he says, thank you, my king. He got him and his brother as his soldiers. Like, that's actually wild. He says, good, now put your head back to the ground. Look at this shit, yo. But then it cuts to the next day at the International Hunters Conference, and Jin-woo's pulling up in front of all the paparazzi. There's nothing they can really do about it because it's a big event. He says he's gonna make sure all the Hwang Dong-soo shit is resolved, but I don't want to think about that anymore. I came here to America for one reason. And he takes these earbuds to translate the conference. Now, as soon as he goes in, we see the conference room is completely full. And of course, everybody looking right at him, including China's strongest hunter. And everybody starts murmuring because they seen all the crazy shit he's done on TV. He just goes in and takes a seat. As some guy in a lab coat comes out and starts off the whole meeting. Now, I'm sure many of you know more magical gates are opening up than ever, but I don't think y'all know about what's happening in the skies. So Jin-woo walks into the International Hunters Conference, and after a couple looks from everybody in there, he just takes a seat and it starts. And this guy in a lab coat comes out to talk to everybody about the new surges in magical energy. Like, everybody knows that there are more gates opening than ever, but there's also something happening in the skies. Magical energy is starting to concentrate and get absorbed into the atmosphere, forming what he calls a magisphere. And this has started to happen over several countries in the world. And the biggest and most concentrated spot is right here over South Korea. So everybody starts looking at Jin-woo, because of course that's his hometown. He's like, bro, there's no point in looking at him like that, because if he's responsible for it, then he's already beyond the realm of something we could deal with. Now, he sees there's 9 places and think they might be related to the number of sovereigns, the rulers and monarchs. Now he says, we don't really have no way to deal with it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't need to be dealt with. But that was the end of his presentation, and he comes up to speak to deliver an urgent announcement. And about 2 weeks ago, the nation-level hunter Christopher Reed was murdered. Again, this was private information, so nobody knew this. And now everybody starts talking. Like, this gotta be a joke. The only person who could kill a nation-level hunter is another nation-level hunter. And somebody accuses him, saying, what if it was Jin-woo? And he just doesn't say anything. Now, the official news will be released tomorrow, but there's already one prime suspect in the murder. And Jin-woo's just waiting to see what he says, as he shows pictures of his dad, but he calls him Suspect S. So they're like, wait, so it's not Jin-woo, but that man looks Asian. Don't they kinda look alike? But he's forcing himself to not turn around. They don't want to be like racist saying all Asians look the same. He's just in the back like, why is my father in this shit? He remembers what Kamesh said about the 4 humans borrowing the strength of the rulers. I don't know why the rulers would send a monster in the form of my father, but maybe it got something to do with what Kamesh said. He tells everybody that Suspect S is the one that beat the brakes off Hwang Dong-soo. So he's strong enough to beat an S-rank hunter, and says he was a monster that escaped from a dungeon. And as he's talking, they're playing footage. He can see that his dad was talking as he was beating up Hwang Dong-soo, saying, "Don't ever step foot in Korea, and I say this not for my son, but for you, or you won't even be able to rest after death." He's like, wait, I got Hwang Dong-soo right here. Greed. Hey, yo, is this true? He's like, yep, it's as you suspected, my liege. So his father basically called this whole shit that he was gonna get killed and turned into a soldier. So he has no doubt about it, that is his dad. Now somebody interrupts like, how do you know it's a monster and not a human? He says his magical output was that of a monster. Next question. But he claimed to be a human that went missing on a mission. Did that person actually exist? He says, yeah, the person was real. So why won't you reveal his identity? He says, he's connected to one of the hunters in this room. So we've decided to keep it confidential. Are there any further questions? Somebody interrupts like, bro, wouldn't his identity help in the pursuit of his arrest? And everybody turns around to look, and it's China's strongest hunter, Liu Zhang. Don't you think so, Chief? I'll be direct about this. What's the monster's relationship to Sung Jin-woo? He's just like, damn, straight like that. Oh shit, in the interrogation, he said he was Sung Jin-woo's dad. We're carrying out the investigation as if this is true. So of course, after hearing this, everybody starts chattering. So bro's like, hey Jin-woo, if it turns out that it is your missing father and other hunters try to hunt him down, what are you gonna do? And he says, well, it's only right that hunters hunt down monster. And if he's indeed a monster, then I'll take him down myself. But if it turns out that he's truly my father, and it shows him thinking about Sha Hae-in and Jin-ho, he says, I'll simply hunt the hunters. I'll protect my family even if it means I make an enemy of every single hunter in the world. But after this, it just falls silent and then the meeting lets out. And bro's like, yo, did you really mean what you said back there? He says, yes, of course. So damn, it's probably only 2 hunters, including yourself, that would dare to say something like that. He asks who the other one is, and he says he's in the hospital right now. Talking about the Thomas he just put on injury reserve. But then the Chinese hunter starts walking up on him, so everybody starts looking like, oh shit. And again, they don't speak the same language, so they need a translator. And since this guy runs the Asia branch, he speaks all Asian languages. He says after he beat one of the giants that crossed the ocean, he wanted to meet the man that took them all out easily. So he's been curious about him since Jeju Island, and says he's happy that Jin-woo put Thomas in his place, and that he has no doubt that Thomas was in the wrong. And this just catches Jin-woo off guard because he's actually a cool ass dude. Then he says something else as he walks away, and it's that he hopes Suspect S isn't his father. So Jin-woo meets with the Oracle one more time. Now she's going out of her way to see him. He's confused like, what do you want from me? I never thought I'd see you again. But she's been having the same dreams every night of the world's top hunters being hunted down. And a few days later, these dreams become reality. So he's like, wait, Christopher too? And yeah, we tried to warn him, but he wouldn't listen. We all seen how that shit turned out. She asked, do you remember when I looked into your eyes? The endless power that lies within them. Once I came into contact with it, I was forced to wake up from my sleep. And she still vividly remembers the voice she heard when they locked eyes. He asked what it said, and it said to go back and patiently wait for war, or prepare for war. So instantly he knows it's about the battle between the rulers and monarchs. Basically, they're trying to ask him to protect these top-level hunters. He's confused as to why me. She says she detected a similar power within him. So she must have seen the power of the Shadow Monarch inside him, which means it must be the monarchs that are taking out the hunters. Bro, we need your help to protect them. And after seeing what you just did to Thomas, we definitely need your help. Of course, don't expect to help us without any compensation. Whatever you want, including that treasure of Kamesh, you got it. These powerful hunters have received blessings and used them to support the world. If they disappear, then everything's going to collapse. He just apologizes like, I can't do this. He asks if it's about a grudge with Thomas or something, but nah, that's not it. It's just that I still don't know who I need to be fighting against yet. He just gets up and walks out. Bro remembers what he said about making an enemy of every hunter in the world. He links up with Jin-ho, and bro is feeling good as new after he heard he fought Thomas for him. Like, bro's glazing on a whole new level. Then these guys see Jin-woo and hands him this list of the world's highest ranked hunters. They're ranked by the amount of monsters they've taken down. Thomas was 1, the Chinese dude was number 2, Christopher Reed was 3, and then who the fuck was that? really this is just a list of people he's gonna have to protect. So instead of remembering everybody's name, he just tags them all with a shadow. He can keep an eye on everything and teleport when need be. Now as he's walking, Woo Jin's trying to protect him, but he says don't worry about that, because Big Thomas is walking up on him saying, let me ask you a question. Like, you really destroyed the shit out my arm. The healing magic isn't working. I was still gonna recover, but bro, you could have wiped me and my whole guild in minutes, but nobody died, except for Hwang Dong-soo, who started the whole thing. So yo, why did you let us live? He's like, bro, you didn't do anything that deserved death. So he says, I see, and walks away. I'm still gonna have a funeral for Hwang Dong-soo, even though he definitely deserved death. I'm still gonna let him have one. If you give my manager your information, I'll contact you later. His assistant speaks up saying he's trying to show his gratitude, and that no matter how big and strong he looks, bro is a shy person. He wants to give him a gift of gratitude. Now Jin-woo says I'm good. She's like, bro, he's very competitive and he becomes uneasy if he feels like he owes somebody a favor. So anything would do, just tell me something you want. He's like, maybe a useful dagger. She says, bet, I'll get back to you soon. After she walks off, he's like, hold up, isn't somebody missing? Bro's like, how did you know? Somebody didn't even make it to the meeting and they haven't heard from him for a couple of days. Jin-woo's thinking, damn, did he already get got? Now there's 7 people I need to protect. It cuts over to the chairman in his office. His age is starting to catch up to him, like his heart is shaking these days. He's like, damn bro, I might be washed. His wife calls him on the phone to check up on him. He just reassures her like, bro, I'm good. She's always so worried and I was just about to go home. Then he starts to sense something like, hold up, what is this? There's somebody sitting in his office behind him. As he turns around, we see that it's the Monarch of Ice. Now the Monarch of Frost has broken into the chairman's office and placed a barrier around it, so nobody on the outside can sense anything that happens. And he's wondering if he can have a conversation with him. But bro came in so smooth he couldn't even sense him. And he can just tell off rip that he's not gonna win a one-on-one, as he says they've been completely cut off from the outside world. He's just like, bro, am I dreaming right now? But then he cuts him on his shoulder and some ice starts to form. Now come on, if this was a dream, would you feel that? But he's like, damn, I guess it's not. Alright, so who are you? What's going on? He says, I was hoping you would recognize me without having me to tell you, but it looks like you're a mere human after all. He's just confused, like, what do you mean a mere human? I've always been a human. He starts sending out his aura saying, I'm not interested in trampling on the weak. Show yourself, and calls him a fragment of brilliant light. Or are you worried that your vessel is gonna break down? Like, it's bound to happen sooner or later, and if you're really worried about that, then this conversation is pointless, as he charges up an attack. And I guess it's just an ice ball, so the chairman braces himself and just takes it on directly. But even though it busted through the wall, he can still see that they're trapped in a barrier. And the Frost Monarch calls him the greatest fragment of brilliant light. And he's just impressed bro made a whole dimensional gap to fight him. And he says, bro, I've been looking for you a long time. To think that you were struggling to use your true power while trapped inside this broken medium. We've already found the locations of all 7 of your fragments, and we have already broken 2 of them. All I wanted was to see the embarrassment on your prideful face before I killed you. Now that I've seen it, I can destroy you without any regrets. Now, I'm still not sure who he's trying to say the chairman is. He says, try it if you can, Monarch of Frost. But he's like, bro, you really about to fight me when you're just borrowing that human body? I've already completely taken over mine. So how do you think you're gonna stand a chance? You can't even touch me. Then they just stare each other down and have an aura off. Before Yo crosses his arm, just sends a wave of ice at him. The chairman on some shit and just headbutts it. Just runs straight through that shit. He goes to counter with this punch, but he weaves it and shoots some ice out of his body to stab him. He's able to weave that shit, tries to come over the top with this haymaker. He uses his telekinesis to stop it. Now they're just stalemated right here. He just punches through the ice to grab him. I know y'all see Unk moving, bro. He going crazy. But he is old as shit, so he says, I need to finish this. He charges up this punch while he can still move. Instead of really trying to exchange, bro just smiles and jumps backward away from him, and then his age starts catching up to him. Well, it seems like you reached the limit of your medium. How pitiful, fragment of luminosity. Yo hits a hezi by disappearing to pop out at the last second right in front of him and pierce straight through his chest with an ice spear. Asks, how long do you think it'll take for you to find a new vessel? 1 year? 2? But unfortunately, this world will already be destroyed. Your mistake was trying to protect this world. Did you really think you could defeat me without your guards? Again, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, who is he saying the chairman is? Then he smiles and grabs the ice, says, do you really think I fought you for no reason? As he like charges up while he's impaled, it's like this fire blast that he shoots at him. He just weaves it and it crashes out the building. He's actually surprised at how strong it was. He's like, damn, you almost had me. Was that your trump card? And he says, yes, it was. He wasn't aiming for him, he was trying to break the barrier. Now the ant that Jin-woo assigned to him can run outside and get help. It just jumps out the window. He goes to chase after it and is about to come from the top rope. this ice scythe. I can't even lie, this shit looks cold. As he swings to kill it, his blade gets caught by the king himself. Shadow exchange. Then he grabs him up by the throat, says, "What the hell are you, a ice elf?" That's gotta be racist. Immediately, he can sense the number of soldiers in Jin-woo's shadow and asks him why he hasn't contacted him after gaining so many forces. All Jin-woo's thinking about is the ice elf whose shadow he couldn't extract. And he's like, "Wait, you must be the one I've been missing out on, the one he told me about." He opens up his mouth, starts trying to freeze him with his ice breath. He really tried to max it out, changing the whole landscape with that shit, so Jin-woo jumped backwards. His arm did get caught, he just summoned his daggers to break out of. He's like, "Bro, we stop here today. I didn't come to fight you to the death. Aren't you going to rescue that human up there?" And that's when he remembers that ant was assigned to the chairman. As he looks up to the building, he sees him in the window, the gaping hole in his chest. He points at him saying, "Now choose. Will you fight against me or will you save him?" And he throws this ice arrow at him. He tries to use his telekinesis, it's just completely resistant to it. Yo starts chuckling. Now he has to take off full speed after it. He throws a dagger to try and stop it, and it weaves around the damn dagger. So he has to jump right in front of it, block it directly, completely deflected away. But by then, bro's already about to walk in a portal. He summons a bunch of daggers, sends them flying for him. They do shank his ass up a little bit. He says, "How dare you, mere vessel, put a scratch on me? Very well, I'll retreat for now. Just think of that dying human as a gift to your shadow army." He turns to the chairman, and he's mad because there's really nothing he could have done, like he was trapped in a barrier. This is not something that his healing potions can fix. He calls on Biru and says, "Save him at all costs." He goes to heal him. "My king, my healing isn't working." He's thinking about using the holy water of life, but then he grabs his hand saying, "Please don't. You've come for me. Thank you very much." He's telling him to hang on, we're gonna get you to a hospital, but he says it's no use. Nothing can be done after taking damage like that. "I came in contact with a supreme being, their plan and the remaining fight between them and us, and the things we must do. I'm very relieved that you are here." Now he's trying to talk to him, but he just keeps rambling. "I'm very thankful that you possess such power. Thank you very much." Bro, thanks Christ. But the gates and dungeons weren't for them. It was simply a means they used to protect us. Someday you'll encounter a moment where you'll have to choose which side to stand on. And I request of you, please remain on the side of the humans." And he starts to cry. "I always wanted to fight with young hunters like yourself, but I knew it was impossible with a body like this. But I don't regret anything, since I can leave things in the hands of youngsters like you. My heart has been beating thousands, tens of thousands of times, and I knew I didn't have much time left. The reason my heart didn't stop beating was so I could meet you. Yes, it was all to meet you. What a relief." He says, "Thank you very much." He just dies in Jin-woo's arms. And bro, they got me just a little bit with this one. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the chairman died. Like, this actually just blew me. The word starts spreading around the world that the top hunters are being taken out. The humans are protected by the hunters, but who will protect the hunters? And it cuts to Jin-woo with the chairman's funeral. He sees Woo-jin there, who's obviously going through it. Like, he was just talking to the chairman about how he wanted to hear everything that happened in the US. But thank you, Jin-woo, for protecting the chairman in his last moments. He's like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna kill it. On my life, I'm going to kill that monster, and then I'll accept your thanks. Now, could you call the reporters for me? I got something to say." He tells the world that a monster colony with high intelligence is targeting the world's strongest hunters, and they're far superior to 99% of hunters. For anybody that thinks they may be a target, stay with powerful comrades. If you don't have any peers that fit that description, contact me through the Hunters Association. I'll protect you.